Welcome back to Drive Your Journey. I'm with my good friend Dave Caldwell. Dave Caldwell is the Public Relations Officer for the William S. Hart School District. Yep. And we're going to talk about these children. These children are magnificent that we have in our city.
We're very fortunate that we have great people, great parents, recruiting great students.
Yep, and great teachers. Let's talk about these wellness centers that are being created. Love the idea. If wellness centers are good enough for adults to go to, what about the kids?
I think maybe it's even more important for the kids. There's so many stresses that these kids are under. And a couple of years ago, our governing board kind of recognized the fact that there are some stresses that these students are going under. And so we want to know more about that. So the principals were tasked with giving a presentation of what's it like on the campus, and let's talk about wellness centers. And from that has been created a desire to create these wellness centers. The students have input into what they're like, things like that, but they get an opportunity now to go to some place to de-stress. No cell phones you're not going to be sitting there on your phone. You're not necessarily doing homework. You're not going to be playing games, anything like that. You're there to kind of just stress out, calm down. And if there are some professionals that are there who they can talk to, and if there's something going on in their life that they would like to get off their chest, they can do that. If the professional feels like the student needs some additional attention, they can direct them in that direction to help that out. So it's a really, really good thing.
I love that. And is each school or each area allowed to create their own environment?
Yeah, that's exactly it. In fact, right now what's happening is from the district level, the district is funding West Ranch and Canyon High Schools and West Ranch High School to be able to get their whatever it is that they want in their wellness center. The district is going to fund it. Some of the other schools are kind of creating their own, but we're looking at the West Ranch and Canyon schools as like a pilot for this year, and we're going to be collecting data that we're going to then be able to look at next year as others are going to be expanding out and working towards what they're going to be doing.
Fantastic. Let's talk about school safety.
Yeah.
What's going on with school safety?
You know, it's really unfortunate. It's the time we live in, right, Fred? So it is just so unfortunate that we have to deal with the situation, and that's kind of leading towards the wellness centers. So there's a lot more stress that these kids are feeling. They see what's going on the media. Social media feeds it as well. It's not your friend in that sense. It's actually hurting in so many ways.
Yeah, sometimes kids can be cruel.
Yeah.
Or they can interpret something as being cruel.
Absolutely right.
And so they're under a lot of pressure and a lot of stress.
Right.
I just know my daughter who's a sophomore. All the honors classes and plus all the social pressures of school.
Oh yeah. It's difficult for the kids now, and it's something you and I, when we were growing up, we didn't have that aspect of the social media, but it does add that extra element that makes life a little bit more difficult for the kids.
Yeah, that dynamic. What's Text-a-Tip?
Text-a-Tip, thank you for bringing that up. Text-a-Tip is it's unique for every single campus. So if you see something, you can say something. It's confidential. So let's say that I know that Fred is having some issues today, or he's going through some difficulty, or maybe he's feeling violent, or whatever it might be, or maybe he's bullying me, or whatever it might be. I can contact through the Text-a-Tip that will reach administration and even the sheriff's department immediately, and then something can happen. Either someone can go talk to Fred, someone can come talk to me if they need to. Whatever it may need to be, so that a crisis can be averted in advance. What's critical is that, again, it has been said so many times, if you see something, say something. And a lot of times people are like, I don't know, maybe it's just he's having a bad day, or maybe this is happening. But it doesn't hurt to go ahead and do that. We have seen so many times that crisis, whether it's a suicide prevention, whether it's maybe someone wanting to do violence to another, so many of these have been prevented because someone has spoken up in advance when they see the signs and they're able to avert it. And along those lines, by the way, teachers are now getting the training so that they can recognize when someone is being, a student or maybe even another staff member at a school is starting to go through some stress.
Yep.
It's really, really critically important.
The one thing we have to realize is perhaps that student didn't have the strength to reach out, and the only way they know how to reach out is to maybe antagonize or create a situation. And maybe ultimately that helps the student that you're, I don't want to say reporting on, that you're just giving a tip on so that you can help them out.
We have therapists. We have 25 licensed therapists and about 25 that are unlicensed. But one of the things that Dr. Nicholas Beatty, who heads up our Eric's program, it's part of our therapist, he mentioned this last year in a meeting that I was at, and he said, a 13-year-old mind, you think about that, so someone who's in junior high school, their frontal cortex has not fully developed yet, so they're not necessarily able to make the kinds of decisions that you and I as adults or other parents would be able to make, and it's a, pardon the pun, no-brainer. It's an easy decision. But yet some of these kids make some bad choices, and it's because they're not fully understanding the difference between the wrong and the right yet. So the brain, still developing when they're in junior high school and in high school, doesn't stop developing until people are in their mid-20s. So there's still so much complexity that is going on, and to help them navigate through that journey, that's a big, big plus.
Yeah. Increased parent engagement.
Yeah, that's something. Look, you're a great dad. We've talked about this so many times. Your kids are successful.
Thank you.
They're doing so well, and the big reason for that is that you're engaged, not just involved. Engaged. Engaged takes it to another level. You know what's going on in your child's life. You are engaged in their academic activity, in their school activity, and it obviously studies clearly show engaged parents have students and have children who are very successful in life, very successful academically, very successful in being productive human beings and going on to have a productive life. It's almost a black and white. So that's one of the things that we're really wanting to do this year as an emphasis, similar to what we did a couple years ago with wellness. Now we're wanting to see what is going on on campuses to help increase parent engagement, so that, again, getting back to the whole student, is the whole student being educated and being lifted.
And I want to encourage those parents with split families. Both of them have to be engaged.
Right.
It takes a village to raise a child. It takes, for all the single moms and dads out there, God bless you.
Yeah.
If you're completely on your own, the school's there to help. But also, if you're just living in different households, figure out how to put the kid first, your children first, and co-parent and help support that child and be engaged. Don't think the other one's just the one engaged. Ask for help if you're the only one engaged, because that's one thing I found is kids need both their mom and dad.
They absolutely do.
Yeah, and
Well
so important. Cass Lake High School.
How about that? We got a new high school.
Yep, yeah. Well, you're diluting all the talent of all the teams.
Well, listen
right?
to you talk. It's pretty exciting, though. It's now the 7th comprehensive high school. Roughly 320 students are over there, and it also includes what's called ICANN Academy. We have a great relationship, a great partnership with College of the Canyons. Academy of the Canyons is located at College of the Canyons, and it is considered a middle college high school. So students in grades 9 through 12 can go there. But there are so many students who are capable of being there, but we just couldn't fit them. So now there's the opportunity with Canyons Academy North, that's where the CAN comes from, ICANN Academy, that's going to be housed at Castaic. The difference that I love about this, and yes, beginning in 9th grade, you can start taking college classes if you are academically inclined to be able to handle that, number one. But number two, you can also participate in all of the extracurricular activities, sports, the band. There's a beautiful performing arts center that is going to be at that campus. All of those things you get a chance to do and be a part of that kind of community, learn about other students, learn about how to get along with so many other people, as well as be able to get a jump start on your college career. It's really a great idea.
What I love about that is it gives kids and parents more choices. And that's the biggest struggle I've had with public education is this is the way we're going to teach you.
Right.
But I think our school district has been very proactive in other ways of teaching, other opportunities. And I think that's healthy for our kids because they're all different and they all learn differently.
You know, we're very fortunate in Santa Clarita. I know you know this.
No, I had my 4th kid going through these schools. 1 at Cal Lu, 2 got into UCLA.
I know.
And I'm not the brightest guy, okay? So
yes, you are.
Great teachers.
Yes, you are.
Great teachers.
But I will say this: this year the Hart School District was named one of only 19 exemplary school districts by the California Department of Education. There is a reason that these kids, that your kids, that my son have been so successful coming out of their high school careers. That is because there are some great people that are involved. We do some great work over there. We're very, very fortunate to live in Santa Clarita and to have this kind of a situation.
To the teachers out there, to the parents, administrators, and mostly the kids.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in. We come
Thanks,
back
Freddie.
next time?
Well, you just tell me when. I'm here.
District. Absolutely appreciate it. Thanks
You
for
know
all
it.
you're doing with the school
Thank you,
district.
Freddie.
Yep.
Good to see you.
We'll be right back.